Okay, here are a few of the Spark Motion tools that I would use when assessing the power clean, and some of the things that might be useful to you as you go ahead and assess the Olympic movements. What I like to look for initially in that first pulling position before the bar even separates from the floor is, what does the torso look like? Do we have a relatively flat back? Are we in somewhat of a neutral spine zone? And I like to use the line feature here to kind of measure that. So if we use the line and we compare the body angle and the torso back position there, we can kind of see where how that compares. Another tool I like to use is the arrow feature here, and it's a great way to pinpoint, especially if you're doing training remotely and you're creating an SRV for an athlete and you need them to focus on a specific area. I like to use the arrow. So here we're looking at the cervical spine, and one of the things that is important is many times as an athlete comes up off the floor here, or the platform, and I'm doing it actually, it's me in the picture, they get into extension through that cervical spine. And ideally you want to kind of keep that head in line with the rest of the spine. So that's something to point out there. We can use the arrow for the hips. We can point out the elbow or the knees and those kind of things. So I like the arrow tool for assessment for this movement as well. Another useful tool for this movement is the angle, or the goniometer, the angle drawing feature. And I like that to quantify joint angles, and just to kind of hit home as to specifically what joint angle we're looking for, and that's an important thing, so you can share that with your athletes as far as joint position. Now here, what you'll see is this angle here, the hip angle, is probably a little bit opened up too much, and that's a good way to slow that down and show that here, how that those hips are probably open up too much. What will happen there, that'll create a reduced ability to get the bar up any further once it clears the knees. So I like using the angle feature there to demonstrate that. The grid tool is nice. We can put this here right on the end of the bar there, this vertical line, and we can show the bar path. And you can see right there the bar really kicks out, and that is a reflection again on those hips being a little bit too opened up there at the point where the bar crosses the knee. And what happens, the result is, you can see here the bar kicks forward, so you can really see how far that bar translates horizontally there in relation to those lines. Another way we can use the grid feature here is if we put this vertical line here kind of in line with the shoulder joints, you can also see how much I move forward of that line. And again, when we're talking Olympic lifts, especially when there's a lot of load on the bar, any little deviation from an ideal bar path will affect how you receive the bar and ultimately down the road and the quality of the lift. So by using the grid feature here, you can see kind of where the shoulders are in relation to creating a good bar path. So those are just a few of the tools I like to use, and hopefully that's helpful for you as you go ahead and assess the Olympic lifts. And feel free to send us your feedback. I'd love to hear your thoughts on how you use Spark Motion tools with your movement assessments.